Oh, hey David, how are you? Nice to see
Nice to
you.
see you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. You played with us last time in 2017, and it was such a fantastic experience. You played Weber Concertina and Rossini Introduction, Theme and Variation, and you got some great reviews. And so our audience has been very excited that you are coming to
I
it.
enjoyed myself very much. It's a fine orchestra, and this program will be a little different, won't it?
Right. Well, for now, let's back up. Could you please tell us about your background and musical path, and who were your greatest musical influences?
Oh, that's a big question. Well, my musical journey started as a kid, just because my parents, my father in particular, was always playing recordings of classical music, of symphonic music and opera, and he played the violin, and I heard that, although he gave that up uh, early on. And my early influences were enhanced by growing up in New York City and having access to some really great concerts, and even going to see the Young People's concerts with Leonard Bernstein, and all that, the great stuff that happens in the city.
Oh, fantastic. So, you known as a very accomplished orchestra player, and you played with some of the best orchestras in the world, Cleveland and American Orchestra under Stokowski and Dallas and New Haven. But you're also one of the few wind players who are currently full-time soloist and a chamber musician and recording artist. What was the path from the orchestra career to a full-time solo and chamber music career?
From very early on, my dream was to try to do it all. Maybe not all at the same time, but I love the clarinet. I always have. And there's so many great ways to realize that.
That you made a lot of recordings of contemporary composers, and you commissioned many recordings. Is there a particular style of music, time period that resonates more with you?
The clarinet does not have the same volume of repertory as a pianist or a violinist. But what we have, the masterpieces are as great as anything written for any instrument. But I think it's important to try to convince the the finest composers living today to think about the clarinet when they write new music, and to not just inspire that, but try to find the means to make it possible. And I hate to keep throwing these cliches out, but the the famous quote of there being only two kinds of music, and
Yeah.
one of them is good music, and it can come in many different packages and styles.
My teacher in Moscow, Vladimir Sokolov, always told me that story that he was playing Shostakovich Symphony number 15. There is a big solo at the rehearsal. Shostakovich was in the audience, and so my teacher came to him and said, "Would you please write a concerto for me?" And so Shostakovich kind of got interested, but then he said, "Oh, I don't have time, and it's just I'm so busy. But if you arrange some of my solos for clarinet and piano, I'd be absolutely fine with that." So there are a bunch of arrangements exist of Shostakovich's solo. I think from the ninth, Symphony from 12th. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. There's his writing for the clarinet and all of the symphonies is really extraordinary. I'd like to see some of those arrangements. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. But let's talk for a moment about your upcoming program. Please tell us about it.
I just loved the John Williams score to the movie The Terminal, and I knew the clarinetist in L.A. who Emily Bernstein who played on the score, and I was delighted that that there has been a transcription from the film score for live performance, and I relish the opportunity to play that. It's a really wonderful movie, and it in the film it is a little bit like a clarinet concerto already, especially the end credits, and the the new piece by Eldar Hudiev is really fantastic. Just been enjoying hearing excerpts of it from the premiere performances that those that I could find excerpts of on the internet, and I've been practicing it, and it's very demanding for the clarinetist, and it really travels a lot of territory in a short amount of time. The third piece that we're playing together um, is classic Gershwin, but kind of combined by a wonderful Italian composer named Michele Mangani, who has made a kind of a blues clarinet concerto out of beginning with the Rhapsody in Blue and transitioning almost immediately into the trumpet solo from American in Paris. And it's so much fun to play. It's some of the most beautiful music uh, in its original context, and it's so much fun as a clarinetist to get to play all the great tunes with the orchestra.
Well, that is fantastic. Anything else that you want to say to our audience?
Oh, just I remember that audience, and I really enjoyed it the last time, and I'm looking forward to coming back. And of course, I love the Northwest. Spent a lot of time in the greater Vancouver metropolitan area.
Well, fantastic. I'm excited, and we're all very much looking forward to your appearance with the VSO.